I've also been able to manage my expectations because I know the subject of mastery. It's really not for everyone. The subject of mastery is not for everyone. So just imagine that we have 1 million of Usain Bolt. People will be disappearing. Abi? So just imagine that the number of Usain Bolts that we have is 1 million. Everybody will go to Olympics. So before you can win, it has to be witchcraft. Because Usain Bolt does it in 9 seconds, less than 10 seconds, right? 9 minutes, right? Yes, 9 minutes. How many seconds? 9. No, is it second? Yes. Seconds. Like seconds. You're sure not minutes? I need to check this. Okay. So he runs 100 meters in 9.5 seconds. So now imagine that we have 1,000 Usain Bolts. Everybody comes to the Olympics. The only way you can do it is to disappear. Once they just say, on your mark, get set, and then they say, go, you will just whoop, and then you are there. So the idea around mastery is not a common topic. So if you're still following the series, you're an uncommon person. You're an uncommon person. And I want to thank you so very well for following the series. For money, a lot of people want to make money. And as I started last week, you don't need to change your person to make money. You don't need to. You don't need to. You could win a lottery. You could work hard for it. You could even fall in love with somebody who has money and your story changes. Fantastic. Like the way God has made you from 0 to 26 or 25, whatever age you are when you fell in love. And you will be suffering. Have you seen all those Nigerian movies? That people will be suffering and then one man will come from Obudo Yibo, right? And see you in the village. Maybe probably like the way you carried your water or like the way something happened. And go and meet your parent. He said, I came purposely. Are there things like that? People come purposely to the village to get married. And overnight, your story changes. Overnight. Overnight, your story changes. You don't need to change that much. It's when you want to become a Dangote, and I've said, that's when maybe probably some habit needs to give up. You need to give up some habits. But fundamentally, you don't need to change as a person to make money. Are there some of our senators, no, I shouldn't say this. Are there some of our leaders, right, that cannot speak good English, and yet they have freaking money. They dish out money in Ghana must go back. But mastery will change you. Fantastic. Fantastic. Mastery will change you. You can pass on money to your kids. You cannot pass your genius. So everybody will have to be it to do it. Regardless. It doesn't rub up on you because your dad is a master. Usain Bolt can have children that are drunkards. Fantastic. I'm not talking about that. Usain Bolt can have children that are drunkards. Usain Bolt can have children that will not be able to run 100 meters in 1 hour. Usain Bolt can give birth to a sickler. You will not be able to pass on your genius. So this idea around mastery, it's something that will take the whole of you. Something that will take the whole of you. But the good news is that mastery is possible. Mastery is possible. Somebody can put your picture on his or her wall, and just by seeing you, gets inspired. Mastery is possible. So we started off on a few talk, and I want to start with that story, the story of Lion King. I've been humming the song while coming up because, I needed to do a few things with the song. So that's the story I'm going to start with. So we had the story of a Lion King. The man, Mufasa, right, was the king of the jungle. So let's assume he was the master in his own era. Unfortunately, he had a brother who deceived him into a few things. And life is tough, right? And he lost his life. While he lost his own life, the son that was supposed to inherit the kingdom. Unfortunately for the son had his own escapade also and ran away for fear. There's this popular phrase I have, do it afraid. So we have a business, and an idea came up, and we want to execute the idea by data. And I now shared the first publicity for it, and I got a lot of feedback. And for split moment, I was afraid. Because you know how you bite more than you can chew, right? I said it's going to be a Pan-African newsletter. In fact, I didn't finish my master's. Right? I ran away. What made me run away was writing my thesis. And here am I saying that we want to produce something the whole of Africa will read. Is that not biting more than you can chew? So, when professors started replying to my message, it now dawned on me that, is this thing really achievable? Can it be done? So sometimes, fear on your journey to mastery can make you rethink your decision. So fear made Simba run away. Unfortunately for Simba, he tired and slept and fell in between friends that could not produce that level of mastery he had seen his father exhibit. Fear. So they taught him how to eat vegetables. They taught him how to eat maggots. And it happened for quite a bit that he lost his identity. I am convinced that majority of Africans have lost their identity. Go and read history. Our forefathers were wonderful people. Hope we all know that civilization started from Africa. I read a lot of history. I'd stopped now. Right. Civilization started from Africa. Our fathers were doing things that is still being studied by the world. Unfortunately, we have forgotten all that. We've been educated out of our genius. Last week I gave us a brief history, and one of my friends got back to me that people were bored by the history. You will need to know the reason why you are going to be swimming against the tide. Mastery is not common. Mastery is not common. But if after this series, somebody picks up the energy, if I get one master out of this series, it's worth it. If it's just one, whether you're on site or online, if we can just produce one master that will carry the Nigerian flag, whatever flag you want to carry, whether you want to relocate to Ghana or whatever, you really don't care, right? That we carry see, Amuson, aren't you just proud when you are on the world stage and you are being acknowledged? And it could be on any field. There's a new fresh wave of pride that came to me one day. I was watching University of Ibadan, their oath taking. And then they said he's a vet in the keynote speech. He's the CFO of GTB Bank. GTB Bank is no small bank. Don't mind me that I compare them with Money Point, right? They're still a big organization. They're a big machine. And then you find somebody who's young, not that really young, but again, fairly young, being the chief financial officer of a banking institution. You can stretch yourself to whatever height. Imagine what he was like in vet school. I was almost tempted to ask him what was his CGPA. There's something in you that has not found expression yet. It's covered under the dust. Once you pull that thing up, you will literally amaze yourself. There's genius in everybody. We forgot ourselves. So Simba forgot himself. And don't forget, the people that he was dining with knew exactly who he was. Some people might be so afraid of your genius, they will not be able to tell you that you do something well. It takes an exceptional leader to want to push you to do things well. Some people are just comfortable with your light dim. I was in an interview, Dr. Zena was in that interview. The reason why I now keep saying that I'm a lazy CEO is because I want all of you to rise. There are very few people that will intentionally want you to just project yourself. I went to somewhere and then the person saw me and then was like, oh, no. Now I've met the person and they pointed. I said, no. Once you meet Dr. Nancy, you can get it through. It is important to me at this stage to kill myself. Because there's so much you can do as one person, right? So the people knew that he was a genius, but they knew they could not stand his genius. So they covered it and trained him consistently to eat vegetable with them. The same feather flock together. There are people who have seen your potential who will not allow you to rise. It is from this meeting you will need to get out of those circles. It is from this meeting you will need to intentionally get out of those circles. You are CFO. Don't benchmark yourself with Abuja CFO. There are CFO that are CFO. Right. What's his name? JP Morgan, the CEO, Damon. He said they move $10 trillion every day. There are some news that you will hear. I read somewhere that at the scent of water, it sprouts again. There are some news you will hear that makes it look like, it looks like me a bit. And I'm going there. So, they got him comfortable. Then all of a sudden, somebody from his past showed up. Somebody from his past showed up. And he could recognize the person. And the people that he had gotten comfortable with started lamenting. So, I'm here to read. I wanted us to play the song again. But while I was watching back last week, I think YouTube muted it that song had a copyright on it, right? That's a copyright on it. So we can still play it. But I'm going to read the song the lyrics of the song, word for word, I copied it. He said, I can see what's happening. I can see what's happening. And they don't have a clue. He said, they will fall in love. And here's the bottom line. Our trio is down to 2. This journey of mass prayer, Dr. Praise, allow me to talk to you like Uncle Jerry. There was a time she came to meet me and said some people are not comfortable. There's a level you will get to. Your relationship that you have now will not be comfortable with you. This thing is not, I'm not saying whether it will happen or it will not happen. It will happen. It's because you are like this. That's why you are like this. The moment you just want to do things differently, there will be people who will hate on you. There will be people who will not understand you. So you have to be very comfortable with that. Like, you have to be mindful of that, and you have to be comfortable with that. So they held a party of sadness that their trio will be down to 2. So they now said, the sweet caress of twilight, there's magic everywhere. And with this romantic atmosphere, disaster in the air. Right. So now, the lady who came now sang Simba now. He said, so many things to tell her, because they were meeting for the first time, but how to make her see the truth about my past. Impossible. She would turn away from me. Let me take a brief moment and explain why he was concerned. When Scar orchestrated the death of his brother, Mufasa, Scar convinced Simba that he was the reason for the death of Mufasa. How many of us have watched? Do we know? So that's why he ran. He carried that guilt. Even if it is a legitimate guilt, you will have to forget it. One of the key blessings I have now is my ability to quickly forgive myself. I can forgive myself. I made a mistake, and so what? I read something, I wrote something in one passing line in my book, and somebody called me. I said, and so what? And so what? There are people who have committed suicide for that passing line, right? And so what? Well, are you proud of it? No. But to move forward, you have to leave the weight behind. There's a weight behind that will stop you. Sometimes you will want to attempt again. The weight behind will say, you have attempted this thing before, now it didn't work. Somebody was saying last week that they said you have done business before, it failed. You want to do another one. Just that line can weigh you down. But say, I did it. It failed. I want to do it again. Don't keep your past too much in your heart. The past is the past. That's why people like Oprah can still be masters. They were molested by people close to them. Have you read Oprah's story? Some people, I still had as an adult, the person was over 40, was still crying for a past that happened 10 years ago. Hey, wipe your tears. The past, unfortunately for us, the past you cannot undo. It's not computer. It's not computer. It's computer that you will do a pass, you undo, and then you will redo, Control Z. Then if you are not sure, you are not doing Control Y. The past is the past. Regardless of how grave it is. And I had to stay a little bit on this because I've seen people's life come to a full stop for their past. So he said, so many things to tell her. Yes, Simba came to that forest as Simba. He was already a matured lion. That if he roars, the entire jungle will cry. Yet he was held back by a chain. At this point, he was still feeling like he cannot expose his past. But something phenomenal happened. I love this story. See, it's Simba, I'm explaining Lion King. I'm explaining like this. So can you ever imagine? Like, so Simba, the lady now said, where is it? He said, and that's where I'm going to get off reading this, right? And then we'll get back to it. He said he's holding back, he's hiding. YouTube will censor this thing again. He's holding back, he's hiding. But what? I can't decide. He said, so why won't he be? Why won't he be? The king I know, the king I see inside. So why won't he be? So why won't he be? So why? So why? The most progressive sign English has ever created is the question mark sign because it drives progress. The most powerful word I've come across in my small journey of existence is the word why. So why won't he be? Zainab, so why won't you be the governor? There are two key things. There's genius in every one of us. There's genius in every one of us. The second key thing is that once you start questioning your state, that's where miracles start happening. So we said last week that to start the journey of why, the first skill you need to build is the skill of what? Self-mastery. 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 Before self-mastery, I want to hit on a point that everybody requires a drive. Mastery is too tough not to have a drive. It's too tough a thing not to have a drive. And that drive has to be self-generated. It's too tough. I said in one of our class, somebody looked at me and said that I'm a bit unusual. See, because again, we are coming up, one of the business we do, it's coming up with 2 new projects, big ones. Right. You have not finished chewing something. You want to pick another thing to chew. Because something in me tells me I can stretch to the world stage. Like, I just think that I deserve world attention. I'm careful saying this thing, but again, let me say it without fear. I think president needs to be calling me, right? Not only president of Nigeria. I think I know enough to get a call from Ghanaian president. Dr. Fem, please, can we have the pleasure of having you? I said, yes, but my schedules are tight. But I will see. Like, not like, it's not motivational. There's something that says, I will not rest until president. I like it. Sometimes I watch TV and I see president gathering. Why am I not in their midst? Eh? They don't have two heads now. I think I deserve to be in their midst. Not because I want to sit down in their midst. Eh? When they are shaping, since I care about this country or care about the world, that's where they shape. That was what took me to the veterinary council. You know, they say curiosity kills the cat, right? If the cat ever survives, if the cat ever survives, let me tell you the story of veterinary council. So I was just getting out of debt because it was around 2019. Like I've not even finished clearing all the debt. I was at the last phase of clearing those debts. Then I now saw form everywhere. I wanted the veterinary profession to be better. Like I genuinely wanted the veterinary profession to be better. I now all of a sudden, for the first, I wasn't even really paying attention. All of a sudden seeing election to be part of the veterinary council board. So I now read. I said, these are the people that shape the training and the practice of veterinary medicine in Nigeria. So that night, I can remember I was sleeping in one small mattress like that. And I said, so why am I not in the veterinary council? So I now picked up my phone and called somebody at the veterinary council. I said, this election that people are buying from, first of all, I could afford the form then, right? I said, can't somebody like me apply? The person now paused a little bit. I said, there's no law that says I cannot be there, but it's usually for professors. And you see, eventually the people, who were 31 of us that contested, they were professors, they were your deans. So, I dropped the phone. And then for the first time, I went through the history of the people who have been part of the board. I said, so why don't I just even try myself? At least I will be able to forgive myself that I gave it my best shot. I just didn't win. Out of over 30 people who contested, of who and who, I was number 7. And they were only going to pick 8 people, right? So I didn't carry last. Whoa! Something has to be in you that equates you to something that the world needs. So why won't you be the king? The way God has designed to move this leg, my mind has to tell me to move. Abi? Once your legs start moving without your mind, they call it epilepsy. Your body will be jacking uncontrollably, right? Once your mind detached from your body, there's trouble. So God has designed it. I want to use a very crude example, but let's leave that example. There are a lot of functions that your body exhibits that your mind has to allow. So if your mind allows you to build on the genius that you have, just allow, I won't plead with you, allow your mind to believe that there's something in you that can be built upon. Hey, Dr. Praise, you could write a newsletter today that the President of the United States will read and invite you. You can enter a plane, you can go and sit, you can have meeting, you will not die. In fact, if you want to do madness, real madness, you shave your head, shave the middle. They will once the content is still there, right? Once your mind is what is telling you and you're convinced that this thing is possible, you will pull through. Me, only me. It's just that it's me stopping myself. I play table tennis now just for my age, right? And then yesterday I went to play table tennis and somebody said he admires me. I said, fantastic, but you cannot deceive me. I don't want to be master in table tennis. I went there because these days I enter inside the office, go inside the car, and then go home. I'm getting old. I'm 40, right? I need to sweat. So, but again, they were watching me and they were shaking me. I flogged Uncle Jerry. 2 games. I flogged him. Right. You will not die if you are invited by the UN. There's a song, let's leave that one alone. Nothing will happen to you if you stretch. But you need an unusual drive. Because no master ever built mastery without an unusual drive. While others are sleeping, there's an engine in you that is saying that there's more to do. Right. Engine that's telling you there's more to do. So if you understand that you need a drive, the next thing to understand is to understand what drives you. Right. Understand what drives you. Understand what drives you. And I can be a good goalkeeper. I just remember. How much are they paying good players now, Master? Very good players. Who is the highest earning Nigerian footballer now? Osimhen. How much does he earn? 225K per week. Pounds or euros. Convert it to naira, let me see. 225K. You know all these things, you have to be able to relate it to your current circumstances. Per week. Okay, the Victor is saying, 401 million per week. Every Thursday, 401 million will just hit in his account. And I had this genius. There was one when I was in when I was in secondary school, they made me goalkeeper. The ball I saved there, like they were coming. I didn't know they were coming. And I was at this point. And I dived. I didn't know the subconscious that made me dive. And my hand touched the ball. They came to carry me. Yeah! I had the potential to be able to earn 400 and something million every week. Is that not bye-bye to poverty? But I wasn't consistent. So you could choose to be a table tennis. I just told us that they said I played very well. You could be a footballer. This idea of running business has not been in my family lineage. I had to train my mind to build it. So just imagine I continued in that secondary school and my leg is good for football. My leg, very good for. Am I not as tall as Osimhen? I have this structure. So, understand what drives you. We said a couple of things last week. What thing produced the best version of you? Is it competition? Is it fear of loss? Is it a step back? Is it victory? Is it having somebody to believe in you? Or is it having a point to prove? And I said regardless of whatever it is, how many of us were able to find what really drives us? Right, good. I also said those things online, put it up on our page. And we got a couple of responses from that. The part I want to stay on a little bit is the second question. How many of us here were having issues in finding out what drives us? All right, good. So let's give him the mic, please. You can, if you don't mind, can you come up? Has there been any time where you were very proud of yourself? Please come on. Has there been any time? Has there been any time where you were very proud of yourself?
Okay. Yeah. All right. Good evening, everyone. Yeah. So there was a time where I recognized that after so much pondering, eventually I found out that what drives me more is victory.
Victory.
And someone believing in me.
All right, good. Fantastic. Now, there's nothing wrong if you're not able to get it clear now. Some of us too, not like everything is clear with us, but you just keep moving, right? And the idea around keep moving is that if a vehicle is stationary and you turn the steering, will the vehicle turn? Will it turn? A vehicle is stationary and you turn the steering, will the vehicle turn? No. Yeah, the vehicle won't turn. It's best you're on the wrong direction, but moving, than to be stationary. You can easily direct a moving vehicle. If the vehicle is moving and is going the wrong direction, you can turn the steering and start moving it. At all costs, keep trying. Keep trying. So thank you. I think you've even answered the question. I wanted to, so even if it's a rough estimate of what drives you, just hold it, because it can change per time. It can change per time. There was even a time I even thought that it is setback. But again, I realized that once I'm in a setback, I could be sad. To get out of those setbacks, the only way to move out, and I didn't know this before. I didn't know that if I'm sad like this, there's only one thing I need to do. Find somebody who is doing what I want to do. And digging into their story. And saw that they too, they had even some of those setbacks. I get up. Where I want to stay a little bit on before talking about what we have today, and by next week we will now start building. It will be a lot more technical next week. I just need to be sure that this foundation is well built. Is who do you speak to the most? I know I added the word when losing, but let's look at who you speak to the most and remove the last phrase when losing. So, so let's start with somebody. Dr. Zainab, can you check your phone? Because sometimes we think we speak to some people and then we check our call log. The last 5 call log you have, if you, anyone that you don't want to call, just say skip. Just say skip. Just say. So the last 5 call logs you have, who did you call? Who was the last person you called before coming here?
Okay, my mom.
Your mom?
Yes.
Yes, your mom.
I spoke to my sister.
Your sister.
I called Chisom.
You called Chisom.
Yes, and some of my friends.
2 of your friends. Okay, should we skip that, or you want to? Or you want to mention their names? Okay, 2 of your friends. You know, sometimes our phones keep also previous day's call. Check yesterday's call. Who did you call?
Okay. It was my sister.
Your sister?
And then the Speaker Youth Assembly of Nigeria, that's the one being his deputy speaker.
Okay, okay.
And my dad.
Okay, your dad?
Yes. And then Skip.
All right, skip. So the skip of that first one is still the same skip for this one, right? Yeah. So we are noting. We'll just put him as skip. The day before yesterday. Can you show your call log? That's the day before yesterday. So go
Okay,
ahead.
that's Friday. Okay, I called you, sir.
Okay. You are not skipping that one, all right. Kylie.
I called Mr. Isaac.
Okay, Isaac.
Yes, my dad,
Your dad,
my sister,
your sister.
and then Skip.
All right, Mr. Skip. Well done. Huh? So, if you notice, right, because sometimes a good assessment tells us where we are at almost every time. You could see the mom consistent, you could see sister consistent, you could see Mr. Skip consistent in all the 3 days, right? You will always be an average of your close relationship. You will always be an average of your close relationships. Or maybe on a deeper level, you have picked the way humans are wired, right? Is that it makes us comfortable. We will have to be comfortable. And we will have to be safe. And the brain doesn't want you to stretch beyond what the brain thinks makes you comfortable or makes you safe. I want us to pay attention, right? Really want us to pay attention. A few years ago, I had to take this assessment. And the log you have, the same thing I had. It's always between my friends, the person we skip, our mom, our dad, or our acquaintances. Majority of us, that's what we have. It's going to be by miracle for you to excel beyond close relationships. It's going to be. It's going to be. So what I want all of you to do is to pick a model. I would have hurriedly say a coach, but we're not at the stage of a coach. I'm going to be talking about having a coach next week and how to go about it, right? But we all need to pick somebody who exemplify a little bit of the mastery we want to build. I have 3 of them. I honestly admire Dangote, right? Like, I like him. Each time he's having trouble, I feel sad. Now, NMPC and the man is really in there, but he's a strong person, a very strong person. The skill I want to build is to be able to run industry. I left the madness, and it's not really madness, apologies for that. So I'm a vet, I was a vet, but don't tell the veterinary council. I still renew my license, right? Where did I learn that buying and selling is what I want to do? It's because Dangote started buying and selling. That's where he started from. So bulk of what we do is to buy and sell. Fortunately for me now, I've fallen in love with trading. Once you buy and sell, Then he now did backward integration. So I said, oh, what it is that you're buying, you will now start manufacturing. That's what he did. He was trading cement. He did the backward integration, started producing cement. Because you are most likely going to pick consciously or unconsciously from your model. For some of us, we will understand this example. There was a pastor in Nigeria that used to call himself, I had this guy, Chigozie, so I pray he's not listening. He works too. So one day he came to the class. The cream he used was not even, I just saw that his hair was coiled. I said, this thing doesn't fit you. Because the person that I knew the person he was looking at, he's fair and he coiled his hair. He was going to be fine now. Have you seen black people coil their hair? And then you now use bad cream. Then I think one day he came to the class and the thing is now brown. Oh no. This is my style of talking. If you watch one of my models, you will know that it's the same style. You will pick it unconsciously. Because we are all mirror beings. We are all mirror beings. We live up to the expectations of the people we admire, or more importantly, the people we stay around. So, if your log is like Dr. Zainab's log, and it's similar log, this is what I would advise. For this series, and if you're online, pick out 2 or 3 people you want to model after, or that exemplify, and regardless of the skills you want to build, somebody's exemplifying it. Somebody's exemplifying it. You can build above them when the time comes, but you will have to put them in front of you. There was a time I crammed all the names of the richest 100 people in the world. I crammed all of them. I know that their level, I just left that madness. Because, I read a book that told me that that's the scoreboard. Cramming the scoreboard. It's like you're playing table tennis and you're cramming. You know how you're on Olympic and then the scoreboard is there. 20/2, 20/2. Instead of you to play the game very well. So it was just one book I read that said, I'm looking at the scoreboard. I should look at the lives of those people in that. And that was where I picked up Sam Walton. And by the way, they brought his book for me from the US, right? It's on my decks. I've told one of our designers to design. I've created another image of all my models with different rights. I've created those images. I've put them on my wall countless number of times. I've put some of them in my book. Now, there's a new energy I have now. With a few writings, I've told them to design again. And what I do always is I have to design my own too, and put them in between all those models. All right. Get 2 or 3. If you want to be a singer, pick the singer that you admire, you genuinely admire. If you want to be a business person, pick the business. All of them have different styles. The style of Dangote is different from the style of Virgin. They all have different styles. They all have different styles. If you want to be a researcher, pick a model. Then you might not be able to call those models consistently. So what do you need to do? Pick their picture, pick their book, pick their stories, read everything around them. Don't sleep until you read a story about your model. Listen to them. Read about them. But some of them are gracious enough. There was one of Dangote's book, somebody, not him that wrote the autobiography. There was one, I can remember the front page is black and white. I still have the book in my diary. There was a time I was always sleeping with it. I wasn't reading it, but I will wake up and see his picture. There's no news that comes in and I hear that before you say, Gote, I've clicked on it. In all your calls, you might not be able to call those people, but you should allow those people be in your consciousness. So, this idea around mastery, I could say it in a different way, but I know that you will give up without a drive. So you need a drive first. The second thing, you need a model that when you see, you want to become. So take a moment, write 3 models, and you can pick them. Models change. There was a time I wanted to pick a model. I picked somebody who, I liked, but I didn't like the way he was talking. I followed him a bit, then I dropped. Then I picked another person. I liked this result. I liked the way he was talking, and I followed him. So it's possible you get it wrong at first. Don't forget the analogy. It's easier to direct a moving vehicle. Even if it is wrong. When you will, and it was this woman that made this statement. He said, do your best with what you know. When you know better, what you do better. You are better off being wrong following somebody. In fact, and it's easier for me to pick somebody who follows a wrong model passionately than to pick somebody who doesn't have any model he's following. Because it's the same energy, it's the same tactics, it's the same thing. By the time the person now redirects his model, you just place another model in front of him. Because of the energy of the previous past, the person knows how to follow. You will have to, somebody said, follow who know. I want to share a personal sentiment, but don't. So you don't need to take this, sir. There's this thing around guys now wearing earrings. Who is wearing earrings here? I want to come after you, right? They've paid people to wear earrings so that you can wear earrings. They punish these musicians when it's not because they want to wear earrings, that's why they are wearing earrings. It's because their career will go down. It's not fashion. There's somebody who has designed it, and you don't like LGBTQ, right? That's the part to LGBTQ. This one is not whether you go to heaven or go to hell. If you want to kill a frog, you don't put the frog inside hot water. It will jump out, right? You put it inside water and you start boiling the water small. The aim around LGBTQ is to ensure that the line between a male and a female is blurred. After hearing you will be painting your lips. They paid plenty people money. And these people understand that we are all mirror images. See fashion now. I was in church today, And then, fashion is just very stupid. You can get somebody, now people used to wear kaftan and wear canvas. Like, have you seen that style? They used to wear kaftan and wear canvas. I can get men, to this shirt that we are doing like this, we will now do it V shape. All our shirt, we will now put ring, chain. I know how to get people to do it. If I have money, I will just go and call all these people that people respect and say, we want you to do this. If you don't do it, your career, it happens or this thing, you don't even need to believe it. They now say, you have to wear earring, you have to wear earring. Did you see the countless number of guys wearing earring? There's another stage. After this, once you have naturalized earring, they will now call the influencers again and say, we will be painting your lips. We will be painting your lips. And they will tell those people, if you don't paint your lips, your career will be gone. Don't forget that it's a cartel that once you go off, it's run by cartel. Another person cannot. You will start painting. Then once you finish that, they will now say, okay, you musician now. You wear earring, you paint your lips, start wearing skirt. A time will come. Then when they now, hope you know there's this fight around same-sex, but again, that's all. What am I driving at? We are all mirror beings. If you don't like it, don't watch it. So I don't know how true this thing is. They said prison, they removed their belts and then they will sag, right? How did our guys started learning how to sag? No, let's leave it. Right. If you don't like it, don't watch it. And let me brush your bubble because most of our ladies wear trousers, right? Trousers too. It's not either heaven or hell. This thing has been going on for a long time. It's just that we are now, the battle is now on men. I tell you, you will wear skirt. I tell you, you will wear skirt. So the way it is, having effect on a negative side, that's how positive it can have. Who will ever think that somebody who walked in the street of a market, two people spoke to me and fell in love with me that day? So my mom, I don't know wherever she had that call. She went to tell them that I was working for her on my 40th birthday. She said it with Mike, and everybody listened. Right. So how can somebody who had worked in the street of a market, done bus conductor work, now be leading big business? And you've not seen the best of us, right? I put a model in front. It will catch up with you. Let me tell you the story of Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan picked, for some reason, I think I read a book. They said he compiled all the best shots that ever happened in the history of basketball. And when he wakes up, before he goes to the gym, he watches those shots. Your body will lift up. We said the small example now, this backflip. I said the reason why you can do backflip is because your mind tells you that what? You can lift up. Go and watch these Olympics. Go and watch all these gymnastics. You will ever wonder whether they are human beings. It's their mind that is deceiving them. It's their mind. There was even one that I watched on Instagram, short movie. She did she now wanted to fall on a line. And the way she backflipped on that line and came back. You see, you are doing it with mouth. Do it in real life. So, Michael Jordan will watch all the best moves. So that when he holds the ball, his mind takes over. And then he jumps. And everybody celebrates. See, this your mind can suspend you on air. Like you just jump and your mind will tell you, stop, don't come down. That's to the extreme, right? You will need a model. Don't be model-less. Don't be model-less. Don't be model-less. And once you pick a model, soak everything you know about. Like, it's just that I don't do it now, and I will need to update this knowledge. When I first of all came across Sam Walton's book, I spent almost the whole day. I was scrolling down the list of all the billionaires, and then anytime I see Walton, I will write it down. I'll see Walton, and then I'll click on that, and I'll read, this is the wife, oh, this one, the son died, oh, this, that, and I was cramming. When you find a model, why am I still with this? Sam Adeyemi is one of my models, right? I kept his old tape. It's about the person you find on my status most often. Right. Up till now, if he releases anything, even I was tempted at and I'll show you. I was tempted at screen grab. He just took a picture with his wife unconsciously. At scrapped it, and I wanted to now put it, and I said, why am I putting married couple on my status? And I stopped unconsciously. There's nothing wrong with having models. There's nothing wrong. So, who is your model? Can you take a moment and just write 3 names? And then maybe I'll ask you, 1 or 2 of you. So, you have to, once you pick those names, you have to know them. You have to know their history. You have to know, each time they are traveling, you have to monitor it. That's a work. By the time you get engulfed, you will produce their results someday. Well, so Dr. Blessing, who's your model? Huh? Donald Trump, all right. Just be prepared to be hated. Some people don't like him at all. Dr. Praise, who's your model? You're not sure yet. All right, fantastic. 3, yes. So just state any one of them. Me too, I have 3 in different lines. Yes, so it's okay.
Okay, so when it comes to development work in the world, so I look at Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala, yes. Yeah. And when you talk about businesses for ladies, women empowerment and someone who has really been able to lead businesses. I don't know why the name is going off my head, very funny. Okay. But she's somebody I've been looking up to, and I had that poster. Then when you talk about vets, the vets world internationally, so she's an Indian. Okay. She's also an Ashoka fellow. Now Kavishwa. Okay. Yes. Right.
So Okonjo-Iweala, do you know her birthday?
No, I don't. Right, I have it written, but I don't.
All right. So by the time you start studying them, you will know them and everything about them. There's none of my models that I don't know their birthday. In fact, I can even. It's just I had to intentionally cram my children's birthday. My wife used to quarrel me very well. But the people, just by default, not even because of anything, by default, you just know when. Blessing. A CFO. Okay, no. Dr. Blessing, this CFO. Who is your model? 1 or 2?
I have 2 in my head, like consciously.
Yeah.
1 unconscious.
All right, good.
Okay, so the first person is Ibukun Awoshika.
All right, good.
She was
I know
chairperson
Ibukun.
for
First Bank.
First Bank. And what drew me to her was the fact that I see her leading a lot of businesses.
Yep.
She has spoken in a lot of conferences.
Mm.
I see her drive. I see her confidence.
Yep.
I see the way she speaks, and I
Yep.
think I have
Yep.
that kind of mind. I want to do what
Yep.
she's doing. I want to even do more than what she's doing.
Yep.
So that's what drew me to her.
Yep.
Then the religious part is Pastor Mildred.
Okay.
So
All right. I know her.
okay, so I'm a church person. So that part of me, I think I want to do what she's doing.
All right.
I love what she's doing.
All right.
And then the last person is Okonjo Iweala.
Okay.
So
All right. Oh,
the
God.
fact that she's in the finance career part, so I want to follow that trend and
All right.
just beyond Nigeria, I see what she's doing and I think I love that and I want to do that too.
Brilliant. I want to ask a question. If I didn't mention the names of my model, will it be easy for you people to identify them? Huh? So let somebody be able to say, so if you had not mentioned those people, I will not be able to tell. There's nothing wrong in celebrating your models. This brain is trained for $1 billion now. I'm expecting it. But look at it, 20 years. Because I understood the height I want to get to, the foundation has to be very strong, right? So just imagine doing something for 20 years, non-stop. Hey! Blessing, I don't know if you want to answer this, right? But how old are you? 29. So just imagine, and the reason why it will not take you as long as it took me is because now there's access to information. When I started this thing, I say it's cassette. You will use your biro because you don't want to waste the battery. And turn it, Walkman. Now the informations are so everywhere that if you spend, I was staying, when people go back home now, I will stay in school 1 week. 1 week. And listen, what people use 10 years to achieve, Warren Buffett is still a billionaire. How old is Warren Buffett? How old is Mark Zuckerberg? We are age mates, 40. Mark is richer than Warren Buffett. What? Mark, age mate, is richer. He said times 2. It took Walmart, Sam Walton, his entire life to build what he did. It's taking Elon Musk, not his entire life, half of his life, to build it. What took me 20 years, you need just 5 years. Now, maybe even less. So just imagine, in another 5 years, people are already putting you in their wall in their offices. Is that possible? You enter inside office, it's your face they put. Blessing, no, lack of. Maybe then you are married, maybe with another son. He's smiling. Eh? Okay, what do you want me to complete? ACA? Oh, FCCA. Ah! So go and do it. Send a picture. Tell Joe to design it to me so I can cram it. I know all of AIG Zone. I've written it too many times. In fact, now I used to shorten it. Tell Joe to go to a studio to wear what you want to wear. Power pose. This your hair is fine. Want to pack it, pack it. I've done plenty power pose now. And write all the title. And don't be afraid to put your future underneath. It will show up. That's how life is designed. It will show up. I've tried it not once, not 2 times. It will show up in your life. And 5 years is not too long. It's just 5 years. You know what I told myself? Why don't you just work hard this long until the result shows and then you can enjoy it? Huh? Is 5 years too long to keep on doing something? Whether you do or you don't do it, 5 years will come. The next 10 years will come. I can bet you it's not where we are today that will be. The minister of science, Bossman, Bosun Tijani, the way I'm teaching you, that's how he was teaching us for 6 months. For some reason, I just things I didn't build a connection with him. Now I have his number because I had it there. If I call now, it doesn't pick. So just imagine we used to take alcohol together. Or we became best of friends. And the people that were best of his friends, that although one we still talk, he brought them all from Lagos to Abuja. We just don't have their time yet. Like this, in 10 years, things will change now. So it's now for you to now decide whether 10 years is too long a time for you to commit and be consistent. I'm going to stay on consistency. What factor destroys consistency? What factor builds consistency? Because to gain mastery, if you take out consistency from it, the whole building has crumbled. All right, let's take questions. Did we learn anything today? But this mastery thing is not a common topic, right? It's not, so if people don't follow it that much, I won't be disappointed because this one requires you. Let's take a few questions and then we're done. All right, let's get the mic so that the people online can hear you. Can you see what's happening?
Thank you very much, sir.
Yes. Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. For the section on mastery,
yeah,
because it's really key at this point of my life. So when you were speaking about it, and you asked us the last question you asked us about our models, for me, when it comes to people I can access, I have like models in like 4 key areas of my life.
Yeah.
So let's say in the line of relationships, spiritually, my work, development work, and in the line of business. And the aspect of business is social entrepreneurship. So that's for people I can access. As at 2 years ago, I couldn't access them. Yeah. But now there are people I can access. So that's in that line. But then when it comes to people I know that accessing them doesn't seem like it's going to be possible, those were the names I called. And I'm not intentionally projecting them right now. So I just want to be clear on that. I'm focusing on the ones that I could access. And there are like 2 of them. I'm currently 7. So my question is, because you said we should work on projecting them, there are key areas of their life that I have seen and I'm looking forward to building. So what I just do is to listen to them, consume their materials. If there's a book that they've written, I try to get it. So on the line of, I want to just be clear on that part of projecting, because I don't maybe put out their stuff.
Okay. So maybe I was wrong there. I'm not sure that's the reason why I made that statement, right? You don't need to. I think the best flattery is that if you're paying attention, you will see their life in your life. Me sharing or projecting them is not out of anything. It's just, so I told you, just this morning, I saw Sam with his wife. Before I knew it, I had screen grabbed. I almost wanted to put it on myself before I told myself, a couple is enjoying themselves. You want to put it on your status. Why? So sometimes it overflows. Allow things to happen naturally. What I'm saying is that study them. Study their every move. Study their every word. Try to find out why they think this way. And when you don't understand, because sometimes you will not understand, just do what it is that just do. It will flow. If you follow somebody 10 years, you will look like the person. Have you ever seen people get married for a long time, and at the end of the day, they start looking like? Start thinking and talking alike. If you stay with, if a soap stays plenty with a leaf, the leaf will become the soap. Just stay with it. I didn't start out to start talking like Sam Adem. If you listen to Sam Adem, you'll see a few, my gesture is gesture. Sometimes even the way they do their hands, subconsciously, there was somebody I was following one time, and then I just realized, I started doing my hand the way. But again, once you don't want them, because there's a way I can distance. Once I see that I don't want this, I distance myself. But if you stay with them, you look at them and study them, you will act like them. And once you start acting like them, you will produce their results. There's a reason why I will never wear earrings. None of my model wears earrings. None of mine. I will wear. You will not even know that you want to wear. One day you will just think that before you finish, you have to put on earrings. If you are not complete until you put on earrings. But just know that all those people, it's not that they want to also wear. They will lose their business if they don't. So it's the poor masses that suffers. All right, go ahead.
Okay, so secondly, how have you been able to, from your experience, how have you been able to maintain relationship, let's say, with models that you can access at the moment?
It's just, so nobody runs away from service. Nobody runs away. So first of all, that's what I tell young people. Don't serve people for what you will get from them. You will quickly, especially, there's none of my model that will go and ask money. You might not even have what to eat at home. The reason for model is to learn what they know, not to ask for their hands. Don't start. If they give you, it's fine, but don't go there with the intention of asking them money. I think that's what is even destroying quite a bit of Nigerian young people. You want to see somebody, you see somebody today, okay. So I followed somebody I was serving, and I was like a seat behind somebody everybody admires in the whole nation. Like, the person was sitting down here, I was sitting down there, all throughout the entire trip. I didn't collect number. I didn't pay attention. I came to serve somebody, and that's it. I'm not in a hurry to bully you. You just need. The next thing I think every young person needs to do is that find what you can give. If it's your time, the people who have, not that they cannot even do it, but they have needs. You can go one day like that and say you want, and I'm not saying you should do it, because these are all extreme. Tell the person, you just go to the person, if you know the person's house, and go and sweep the entire compound. No, I just want to come and sweep your compound, and then leave. Nobody rejects service. Have you? Nobody rejects service. If they don't trust your service, then there's an issue. But first of all, ensure that they are comfortable with you around and serve them. Because what you will gain being in their presence, if Dangote asks me to come now and follow him to a trip, I'll tell him it's not just a trip, sir. I will carry your bag. I will clean your shoe. Before he wakes up, I've cleaned the house. I've prepared his breakfast. I will sink everything to have him within my vicinity. And a time will come. Once you've picked up, you're doing what it is, they themselves will now make you colleague. But you have to earn that. So sharing them is not, you can even be sharing them and don't believe in them. Have we not shared people we don't believe, but if you don't do it, you will be punished? Have you not done that? So there are some people's birthday you will not want to celebrate, but they will be watching your status. Go ahead.
Okay, so thirdly, before you got to this point of mastery, I want to believe, because I'm trying to recall that you've said something in the past that you had people reaching out to you for mentorship, but you didn't. I don't know if you didn't.
No, I don't used to accept.
Okay, yes. So, and that's actually before you got to this point. And so, let's say you were like me in the last 10, 15 years ago, and you felt you had not built the level of mastery that people are thinking you've built. Yes, and you keep having lots and lots of people reaching out for you in that purpose. So how were you able to really tell, what did you do to help them? Is it probably you just led them to certain skills you feel they should learn? What was it for you like, and what did you do at that point?
Okay, so before getting to this stage, this thing I'm doing, I like it. So it was our personal money that we spent here. And I'm not expecting any one of you to pay or to give me money. But before now, I was doing this, I like it, and I was expecting, and I would gist you. There was a time I was invited to a church, and then I didn't have transport back. So I was relying on honorarium to go back home. After talking and sweating, they escorted me to the car park, allowed me inside the car, waved me goodbye. For shame, I had to allow the car to move and stop the car and said, I don't have transport, they should drop me, right? So I had a couple of those episodes. So I made a commitment to myself. You're trying to teach what you're not. So I stopped it. You could still pick lessons around me even before now, but I will not say I want to gather you and start teaching. So I said, I'm going to stop everything teaching. If I know it, I will do it. So I kept building. And that was that level of focus I gave. And I said, once I'm 40, I'll open it up. I'm open now to teaching almost everything I know. I almost gave up on this idea, except for a few thoughts that made me come on. Because, if somebody comes to you and say mentor, it's changing the person. There has to be hunger. I didn't get to this stage without being hungry. So the way people say, they will just see you online, they say they like what you do, can you mentor? That's very weak. You don't even need to ask me to mentor you. It's your attitude. I will bring you close. Once you see somebody with hunger, that is very hungry, you want the person to even be around you, because that's what you need to climb. But you just find somebody, say the person just wants, probably enjoys what you do, and they just want to be around you without any more. Don't waste your time with those people. I don't even at this stage myself, that I want you does not mean that I will keep you around when I don't cite hunger. It's tough being at this stage. It's tough going up. It's not everybody that will get it through. So why do you want somebody who just enjoy conversation without acting on it? Let's take one final question. If there's none, I think, where's Fed? Fed went out. Yes, sir. So who is going to close the meeting? Okay, Chisom. All right, so thank you, everybody. By next week, we'll be talking about consistency, and then we'll get it through. I really appreciate every one of you who take the moment to come. We want people to come, but we want to just do it organically. And I will not pressure any one of you to come. If you think there's something you're learning, why not? Be my guest, and we can all grow together. So everybody, enjoy your weekend. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir, for that wonderful word. We're super grateful to have you in the house. To everyone who was able to make it here today physically, we're super grateful. And to everyone who was able to join us online, we want to say thank you so much. And we hope you learned a lot. I personally wrote down a lot to put into action. I hope you also did the same. Thank you so much. See you same time next week. Thank you.